moved them to Shasha, built an estate for them, and they redeveloped that place. The developer will use the place for 50 years, for 30 years, and return it to Oluwole's family. Quite within that 30 years, out of 12 floors, they will have 4 floors. All families have one shop on the ground floor. I went to Shasha and I saw the people living there in a gated community. One Alaja told me, I never knew that I could live and my children would be riding bicycle in the estate. They were not happy where they are. But the development did not dispossess them. The developer had money. They have money and they have their properties. Government, nobody is shouting on social media, we are dying. Everyone were happy. It's not as if we have not done it. It's not rocket science. It's only to be patient. To patiently see it as economic business. It's not we against them. And that's the essence of this meeting. Lasura has problem. The problem of Lasura is that planning in Lagos State has been fragmentized. That Lasura is not under commissioner for fiscal planning. It's under special advisor who is not a planner in thinking and in block. So it's a structural problem that is shout from here that can make Lagos State to rethink planning, look at their structure, and see what they are not doing well. So that when departments are positioned in the rightful place, then we can see a better country. It does not cost government to drop a dime to do regeneration. The location of the land is valuable, they are valuable enough to self-fund any regeneration process. So we are not here blaming game, saying that we've got it wrong. We have been told that we are difficult. Government is difficult. All this government you are pointing at, if tomorrow you are appointed, you do worse. If we don't solve this problem, because those who are in governor's office or commissioner, they were once with us. They were once with us. So, you see, my first point, I'm sorry, my first point is that I started asking myself, I did town planning, and in Yoruba land, what is the meaning of town planner? What do they call town planning or town planner? In Yoruba, who knows it here? Atuluto. They call us Atuluto, the reformer, the reorderer, which we make in Utidaru. And that should not be planning. Planning is future. You do it before it's done. By the time town planner came to the state in this country, historically, in Utidaru, we have built Avasadli. So they are now Otuto. So we are part of the process of Tututo. And that is all what we are all doing together. And the process of rebuilding, there will be crying, there will be emotional, but if that is the process, there will be clashes. But eventually, what do we need to meet next year and say cry? Let's have solution. Let's have solution.
Don't stand there.
Let's start thinking about the solution. But we have a question. We will just take 2 questions. And then, yes. Okay, let's take 1 question from here today, and then we'll take 4. Dr. Omeka.
Sit down.
I will have to twist what I have to say, especially when Professor Nubi has talked about solution. I was listening to most of the panelists. I was also thinking about something came to my mind when I did people dispossessed of their land that have certificate. I was just thinking, I looked at the definition of terrorism. He was talking about violence and threat of violence. The situation you use intimidation to dispossess people, which will also lead to depression and can also lead to death or increase in crime rate. And I'm looking at trying to understand the difference between these. Is that we are talking about that relates to bandits. Except that in their own case, they use they use guns, they use machetes. So I don't know whether government also is looking at the aspect of the aftermath effect of dispossessing people of their land or demolition, that it can also increase crime rate. And I think that there is a negative relationship between crime rate and land development or land and sustainable development. And there is also a negative relationship between death and coming up with land and sustainable development. Thank you so much. So I don't know.
Thank you, Acting HOD. And then we'll take a question from the community. All right. Can we have your question, please? Please tell us your name and where you're from.
All right. My name is Okoyemi Benjamin Ogunlami. I'm also an alumni member of this institution, and I'm from Oworonshoki community. This is not my voice. I'm actually speaking from a pathetic heart at the moment because my community has been set ablaze about 20 minutes ago. And I must say, I will start from where the GM Lasura said. The compensation they are giving in Oworonshoki, 250,000, 300,000. Can it rent an apartment in a community? That is first. The highest that this had created in our community is that the land in Oworonshoki have been sold out already without, and I'm sure the GM Lasura is aware of it. It started from Bola Oke of Lapska. People handled him. They brought the GM in to pay the people 250,000 poor and vulnerable community members. I wish I knew you were here before now. I would have brought down the whole of Oworonshoki down here. You will see reactions. Yes. You will see reactions. And it's so bad that the Oba of Oworonshoki, the Lagos State Governor Sanwo-Olu, hasn't said a word with regards to this. The only thing we are saying, and which is fact, the Oba of Oworonshoki is selling the land because during Ambode era, I have documents here. The Ambode government withdrew from revocation of land and he gave certificate of withdrawal, revocation of land to the Oba of Oworonshoki that is no longer revoking land from Oworonshoki. But the Oba was late. The son, who was the former vice chairman of the community, became a king. I wish he were here too, to hear this fact. But because he was in government, he liaised with public offices to dispossess the poor, to enrich the greedy rich. Nothing more. But we are being paid 250. People, in fact, a man in the community that you have paid 2 million, the man's house was demolished. He fainted. He landed at the hospital. When the man came back to life, he heard about the money. He went to collect. People challenged him. And he said, when they demolished my house, I died. I woke up. Let me go and collect the 2 million, rent an apartment. After getting the apartment, whatever I will do with my life, if we can fight and get back our land, we will get. But my question is this personally to the GM. Can you please withdraw? Your image are being tainted in Lagos. Can you please withdraw? Because we know the matter of Oworonshoki is political. You have punished the people. More than 100,000 people are crying in the community. That is the first thing. And then second thing, can we be democratic? I will do the favor to Lagos State. We will go in the middle of the night, take camera to the bridge of Ifako and the Third Mainland Bridge. We will record how many residents of Oworonshoki sleep under that bridge since demolition has been going on. Per square meter in Oworonshoki is 120,000. 500 square meter is 60 million. They wanted to build the elite villa. And 1,000 square meter is 120 million. And you still want to dispossess people and give them 250,000, 300,000. I have told the Lagos State government that I led the protest with my colleagues to block the Third Mainland Bridge. And because of that, they have used the military, the police to gag up the area. I wish I could see the harbor to tell him that the society they are creating, their children will suffer it because power will change hand. We will retrieve our land from them. Their children will cry. The cry of the poor today.
Thank you. Thank you for the question. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. I want us to understand that we are not passing blame to the government. We are not criticizing the government. We are only looking for how can we do things better. And so the next question to everyone seated here, just in 30 seconds and in one sentence, can you please tell us what we can do better to cooperate, to bring people on board, and at the same time still have infrastructure development? Thank you.
Thank you for your attention. As always, there are philosophical solutions and more practical ones. So let me jump from the practical one. Talking about production, I think that there's a lot that the government can learn, quite frankly, from non-governmental actors. There's a lot that civil society has been doing, the representatives here. There's a lot that even the private sector, distinguished legal professional here, said. So one of the best examples of compensation that I've seen in my life have come from, let's say the so faith-based. But again, so I've been in Baghdad like most of my adult life. So all of us know the Deeper Life area, right? So Deeper Life was going to, they had this land, it was their land, they had it. And then finally they were ready to build this their church, their headquarters. And then there was I don't know the details, but there was a supermarket there. For those of us who know, I'm naming names, there was this Deep supermarket there. And then I was like, okay, where exactly, is this church now going to come and build? But apparently, Deeper Life then bought out the place. What on the street was, as at then, we're talking over 10 years ago now, they bought it for 100 million naira. And they paid that supermarket 100 million naira. And the supermarket since then has gone from glory to glory. When someone said earlier, compensation should not leave you worse off. So if you're looking for compensation, that's how compensation is done. Thank you.
Prof, you said it all. Nobody has actually said it. It's all about we being sincere to ourselves. What we want to do. There's a part of when he was talking about last week. I was part of it. I went to interview the people in last night. I also spoke to Prof about that. It's just about engaging with the people and we finding a common ground. It's that simple. It doesn't have to be. I don't know. In terms of solutions, several people are going to talk here. There's going to be a whole lot, but it's just that there's a whole lot of politicking behind, and it has to do with the persons in governance and the way they picture the city and how their approach. And really, like I said, it's the young people I'm concerned about that are seated here today. You all can see the drama here, right? Yeah. Please. When you get there, I think our own generation, I look young, but I'm just few years away from 50. Few years, as the way I look. It's the next generation, the young people here, please, don't let this drama happen. aspire for us to have inclusive cities. Don't begin to design the way people are doing now. Consider everybody. It's a pyramid. At the top are the big boys, at the bottom are the guys who don't have. But the way we have been planning is that we plan for those guys at the top, and we call it regeneration, renewal, lab homes, whatever. They call it all kinds of names, but it's for the guys at the top. Nobody plans for the guys at the bottom of that pyramid. You have the mass people. That is what is wrong. You understand? So please, don't let us make that mistake when we get there. I am not too sure anybody's listening to me right now that is in power or whatever. You know. So let me just talk to the young people. They will talk to me.
As I said before, I think there's already in a lot of areas a lot of cooperation. And I know that the civil servants in the ministries, whenever you approach them, I mean, they are very open, they know what the problems are, and there are some solutions can be found if people cooperate together. I mean, I think the biggest problem what we have is maybe, and I think the keynote speaker said it also, there's a lot of intransparency and a lot of insincerity. And I think that is, for instance, the problem of Oworonshoki. The problem of Oworonshoki is maybe not the regeneration or whatever. The problem is that there was no openness of what would come. And as Professor Luby said, if there's a development coming, why can't we go to the developer and ask them? We have proposals for maybe low-cost housing, nice aesthetic housing that the people can live in. Can't we integrate it? Maybe not all of them, but at least some of them, the most needy and so on. But I mean, it's just nobody knows to go to because government is no more responsible but developer. It has become no more public matter, but it has become. So I think that the problem is really more governance than having technical solutions, because the technical solutions will be there.
Thank you. I think I will look at this in terms of paradox of development. I'm sure government wants development. That's why they pursue some of the agenda that they are pursuing. But why they are pursuing development? And maybe because also, it has also been mentioned here, there's no evaluation. Do we evaluate the projects, the programs, the policies that we are using to drive development? Because if we truly do that, then I will be able to ask ourselves, are these developmental policies, programs, and projects actually leading to development? What development? You know, it's all about economic growth, which is what government is always after. Growing GDP, growing what have you. It is about the people, their welfare, their well-being. So if the development that we are promoting leave people more impoverished, like I said, then what development they need? So I think government has to sit back and look at all of these strategies, all of these policies, all of these whatever, and truly evaluate them in the context of true development, which is ensuring people's welfare, people's well-being, which are the hallmark of inclusive urban development. Thank you.
Yeah. Chamara Salami, I have increased your response time from 30 seconds to 1 minute. 1 minute.
Well, thank you very much. Thank you for that privilege and the honor to speak today. Living emotions and sentiments, I want to believe it's right time we all become change agents, and it's very critical. We have been coming from a militarized regime, and unfortunately, Nigeria's psyche has been so much touched. Still under democracy, I can't say comfortably that the entire system is democratized. But however, becoming change agents is highly inevitable. So, as we have partner in making this happen, all of us must come together again. Engagement will yield positive results. I'm afraid and I'm not comfortable that the members of the House of Assembly are not brought to this floor. They are representative of the people. We have executive, we have legislature, we have judiciary. This kind of forum will bring at least 1 or 2 representatives from each of those halves, so that by the time we require policy shifts and our psyche must be geared towards public-friendly agenda. We should not promote privileged solutions or privatize our efforts to make people suffer. But however, if we have been seen to have built illegally, there are a lot of former settlements all across Lagos. But again, do we fold our hands to allow them to continue to exist? And in most cases, they are incursions into setbacks. And when all this happens, government must take action. But all the same, we need to talk to our people. We need to use our traditional urban law, use our traditional system to address some of our problems. We can to find solution, and there must be policy shift. By and large, we have come to a crossroad, and the only way to have this matter resolved is for all of us to believe in becoming patriotic to solve this problem. So, like I said, it's time for action. So let's give rhetorics. Let's come together, the camp, the town, and equally all participants. Let's come together and look for solutions so that we can become better people, we can achieve better communities, and of course build greater, brighter future for our children. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I think the essence of everybody coming here together today is to find a way forward. Before then, I just want to quickly respond to some of the comments or statements made by some of us here. I'm happy one of our elders in town planning profession is here with us. There's something they call overriding public interest. What did I say? Overriding public interest. Even if you have CFO, if you have something more than CFO, once it is overriding public interest, that CFO will not save you. Why did I say? There's something, I think all of us here, we are aware that all street trading is not allowed, yes or no. But on daily basis, you will be seeing our people selling, doing things on the road, and if they are caught by these kind of people, they see they are bad, won't prevent an oil from their livelihood. It's the same thing. It's the same thing. The issue of Oworonshoki, I still maintain it, is something that has been long. The notification, everything has been given to them. That this particular area, government is coming. And you know our people, when you say something, they will say they are going to comply until Jesus Christ comes back. That is what is causing. There's a way forward. In this country, we have to be frank with ourselves. Development is always ahead of planning. We are right to be vice versa. Planning should come before development. Let us mention some of our skills, like Lekki Scheme 1. People are living there now, but if you get to there, if you go to Lekki Scheme 1, you will see a lot of environmental challenges they are facing. But what Lekki as a scheme is meant for is that all the necessary infrastructures, facilities must be on ground before ever development. What is happening? Is it not the other way around? Like what I did mention, no matter how far you have gone on a wrong path, turn back. Our master plans are there, but the implementation may take time. Look at the Maroko, where Lekki Schema and the rest. They are located. At least before ever the